Welcome to the Green Room, people. 101's all around. Buckle up, we're back to true crime. I found a man, well, I haven't found him. I found him a long time ago, but we're going to be covering someone who I found personally irritating, so much so that he sat in the playlist not getting touched for a long time. I think I can handle it. We'll get into it. Welcome to the Green Room. Music, as always, brought to you by White Bat Audio. Again, White Bat Audio still in the planning stages. We'll worry about that later. Once again, it's White Bat Audio. This is like, I think their brand new playlist you just released today. So enjoy. All right, people, the tubes are warmed up. Let's take a look over here. I got to remember I have 2 mice because 2 mice is too many, and I usually use 1 for 2 monitors. But here's the thing, I'm working off 2 computers. We use workarounds around here, people, so that's what we got. Thomas O'Malley the Alley Cat is back. Let's dance, daddies. I got a meatball hoagie and a bit of Atlantic. Oh my god. Yeah, so let me, well, I don't want to get you guys too in the know before we get into it, so I'm not going to tell you much. We're still in the green room listening to White Bat Audio. I'm enjoying a little bit of homebrew here. Again, maybe I'll give you a little bit of info because the dude we are covering tonight, oh my god, so annoying. We'll see how far we can get through it. Jeez, man. And he's Canadian, so there's that. Not that's good, bad, or indifferent. Thing is, when we get going, it's going to come up immediately because he's maybe he was a Mountie. I think he was a Mountie. Like, he was a police officer, a law enforcement figure of some form or fashion. We can get into it pretty soon, actually. Let me get ahead and get this started. Here we go, guys.
Dog. Cat. Mouse. Turtle.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Dave. This is FFOP Radio. It's Flamingo Friday, as you can see by the shirt. Here we are, people. We're back at it with some true crime, and it is a doozy. I'll fill you in if you need it in a second. Let me introduce you my co-host and producer. Krista's over there off camera.
Hi.
Pull mosey up to the bar here. So let's first. Oh, my color wheel's up there. Whoop. So, Jameson, if you'll allow me, let me put this up. Jameson was our winner. Let's get his name up in lights.
Up in lights.
There we go. Perfect. That's better.
Double shark action.
Double shark action. His favorite movie's Jaws, he tells me. I say we got shark stickers. Bam, there he is for knowing about, whatever, the late 90s, early 2000s for you.
Yeah.
So, let me get you
I'm flattered, he says.
all... Hey, look at that. Bam! 2 badass shark stickers. I mean, one is badass. The red one's badass. The blue one is just sort of hilarious.
Yeah.
But I like it. I'll keep an eye out if we, have to keep up with more. So, here's what's going on, people. We're going over Kevin Gregson, former Royal Canadian police officer. So, what did he do, you ask? Oh, yeah, maybe it is the Katy Perry shark costume guy. I'd like it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a million meme stickers that I got that were like, probably easily stealable and fairly reasonable that no one's going to sue you for that. Because, like, who's going to be like, hey, that's my shark.
Costume.
And, like, that looks a lot like the flying hellfish from The Simpsons, right? But,
Yeah.
don't ask, don't tell is my motto when it comes to copyright infringement. Anyway, here we go, guys. Kevin Gregson, what he did was, and his story is ridiculous. It'll come out in the fullness of time, but just so you're aware, because we're going to jump right into it. This footage goes like hard immediately. What this douche tried to do was, like, apparently he wanted to off himself, right? Dispatch with himself. And so he, like, the best idea and the best way to do that would be to steal a policeman's gun and use it to kill himself. So he drives to not a police station or like a donut place or whatever. He goes to like a hospital and attacks a police officer and stabs him to death.
Nice.
He then tries to kill himself by he like sticks a knife or a pen in there or whatever. We'll get into his neck's all bandaged up. So he tried to, whatever, but he's too tough. He's just too tough. He's like a superhuman Canadian supervillain. And we'll get into it. This guy is so full of himself, and the detective handles it just about right. But again, this is one of those interrogations where I am constantly annoyed by the fact that Kevin Gregson is a thing. So let me go ahead and...
He tried to Jeff Stacy himself.
Right, that's the thing. Except where Jeff Stacy kept the pen a solid 8 inches away from his neck, this dude dug in a little bit, and he'll tell you I was trying, blah blah blah. He's such a whatever. We'll get into it. He is a loser, and now he's obviously guilty of many things. Because if you want to get into his case, you can find. There's the CCTV footage of the hospital where he attacked the guy. You can't see like a lot of the graphic action going on, but you see the initial attack or like blitz take place. And then there are also 911 calls out there from nurses in the vicinity or like in the like the radio
hall.
transmission from the nurses of dude got stabbed up.
Well, like, was he trying to just go out in a blaze of glory?
No one. That's the thing. He like his. We'll get into it. He'll tell you his whole thing and like the reasoning behind it, and the detective will have all the same questions you have. So here we go.
Please.
Your intention this evening was to take your own life.
Yeah, I tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If I were going to do that, the easiest way to do it isn't like carbon monoxide poisoning or like any number of chemicals under the sink. It's to drive to a hospital to try to take a police officer's gun.
And it didn't work. And I'm trained to take life. That's my specialization. And I can't believe the stupid
Well, you
knife didn't
continue to
work.
say your specialization. You didn't learn that as a police officer.
Yeah, I did.
It's hilarious.
Because I've never learned that.
I
I've
love
been a
this.
police officer longer than
You're
you.
not like
This
that. So we're the
interrogation.
Mounties. So I just have holes in my head. And he said, because of that, he said, technically I shouldn't be walking or talking right now. I should be dead. And he says, just that I'm just
Welcome, Allison.
tough. I'm physically fit.
Hey.
And even with these cutting my throat, I got in there good and deep. I was working it. And the doctor said that the arteries not, they move.
Another thing, I apologize, obviously, because it's interrogation footage, and every time he moves, like the microphone is going to rock in a Dixie cup for some reason. But whatever, so that's the thing. We're dealing with, I've turned it up as much as bearable, so sorry.
But,
Move around?
he worked it
Yeah.
all over the place. Well, how
It's just too tough. His arteries and all the connective tissue that could have ceased him.
his voice would be all messed up
What's
if
up,
it
Matt?
truly got like as deep
Yeah,
as
that's the
he's
thing. He's a
saying.
liar. This whole thing is bullcrap.
I already hate him.
I think that's a
Well, I
natural
hate him
reflex
big
for them
time.
to try to move out of the way.
But I got in there good. I was like zigzagging.
I was working
it. Just still didn't work. Damn it.
Damn it.
I'm going to write Bic an angry letter. Their ballpoint pens are crap.
Maybe a train will do it.
He's working it. Yeah, he's working it.
Well, I can be very honest with you, Kevin. If you ever,
Get out of here, yeah. Well, so I can get
that's
on the
if.
train.
That's if.
If
Okay, here's the thing. Every time I watch this, I don't know if that's like a hospital-issued outfit or a Canadian-issued prison outfit. It just feels very like...
Paper.
No, the thing that I'm going to liken it to is like when Mortal Kombat came out, the live-action movie, like 1 million ninja costumes hit Kmart and Walmart and Target that were just like that triangle shape. Like, he's an off-brand white ninja ripoff of Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
No, this reminds me of, and the ladies listening
He does
can
have Russell
attest.
Williams' hairline.
It reminds me of the paper gowns you get at the OBGYN office.
Oh, any place where they make you take off your pants in a doctor's office, you're going to get something like this. But it's weird that it's like the sleeveless thing, because usually...
Right. Yeah,
I mean, depending on where you go, obviously, but it does feel like he's one vinyl mask away from being like Frost Ninja.
I don't care.
You're facing.
The villain from Bill and Ted.
Kevin,
Okay.
you're facing first-degree murder. The punishment for first-degree murder is life in jail.
Oh, if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen then.
This
I want you
dude.
to
My
correct me.
intent was to die tonight. And because I cut my throat and it didn't
Frost
work, I
Ninja.
needed a gun so I could blow my brains out. And the only people who have guns are police officers.
Maybe in Canada that might be true, but like he was an RCMP, right? Like according to his story, he's RCMP. He would be one of those dudes who would have been allowed to have firearms. Like cops collect those things. It's one of the things they love the most.
Yeah.
So I went down to the hospital because the hospitals
Always have policemen there.
Police stations always have those too.
That's it. I wanted his gun.
Fairfax,
I wanted to
Canada.
die.
Maybe.
Connecticut.
I still want to die.
This guy.
You're a young man, Kevin. You have a
Really?
Yeah, you got the hairline of a young man. You still got the bushy head of a young lion. There's nothing about you that says that you don't have many, many years ahead of you, Kevin.
Things going for you.
No, I don't. Not
You have a
anymore.
beautiful wife.
She's gonna leave me for this. I'm not stupid.
Wearing a white
I know my
ninja
wife,
outfit
she-
sounds like a punishment for being a naughty ninja. Like maybe you wore your nice Adidas instead of the regular Tabai boots, and now you're on ninja naughty list.
That's the thing about, ninjas. Watch a million ninja movies, American ninjas more specifically, is what I'm thinking of. They run the gamut from white to black and everywhere in between, the whole Roy G. Biv. Is it tactically advantageous? Probably not to be like a yellow ninja, but you got to do what you got to do, man. You're making a 62 judging by his hairline. Nailed it.
She's gonna be gone after this.
You'll always have a son. You're always a father. Do you have any other children?
Yeah, a couple more.
When you hurt yourself,
Oh, yeah,
when you
Cannon
cut your
Films
neck
are
the
totally
first time,
cast
you
this
said you
guy.
did it 3 times today?
Oh, I did 6. I did 3 on
'He's like 19 steps below Michael Dudikoff.
one side. I just
Oh,
dug
okay.
it in. Deep.
Yeah.
Nope. And then because it's supposed to work.
But did you have it bandaged up when you went to the hospital?
Yeah, because I was bleeding everywhere. It was
So where'd you get the
disgusting.
bandaging?
At my house.
Oh, okay.
I just got some band-aids, put them on it.
Okay.
That's all. And then I put another one on top of it because like I'd get dressed and then all of a sudden down my front and be like, gross.
When
Gross.
But you were trying to off yourself, so just
Oh, man.
let it happen.
I just don't want to live anymore. Gross. My shirt. What?
where'd
Oh,
you
this
get
guy's
the
a
car?
douche.
Oh yeah, yeah. I carjacked that at the Tim Hortons. I told you guys.
Yucko.
I just gonna go. I said, I need your car.
And what'd they say?
Okay, and they got out and. that was
Okay.
it.
We're Canadian.
You just told them you wanted the car? That doesn't seem like it
Yeah.
works out like
I
that.
said, just give me your car. I need it.
And did you have any weapons? You have your knife?
Really quick, this guy reminds me of the interrogator who does, and if you're familiar with true crime stuff, Basil Barutsky. So he was like this angry old douche who like had enough one day and like took a shotgun to 3 of his exes in like a single day.
Nice.
And there's like Basil, and like this detective is super nice to him, and it kind of puts me in the mind of this dude. Maybe he's Canadian too. I can't remember exactly, but like 4 hours worth of just like blowing smoke like this dude does, whereas this dude is like the alpha male who can't die. Basil was the perpetual victim who was constantly being crapped on by literally everybody. But it's the same annoying story, and it's the same sort of questioning and same attitude from the detective. It's like, well, okay, tell me your story or whatever, even though you want to be like, hey, don't you see, like you're the bad dude. Yeah, he's like, he thinks he's Bruce Willis in Unbreakable, but he's actually just a lolcow who, here's really quick. Part of the problem with dudes like this is I think that everybody in their life has just cut them slack. Like Kevin did not grow overnight with this mental attitude of like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever, right? Like we all are sort of accountable for all the shitty people in our society because every time you turn a blind eye, you're just waiting for somebody else to cash that check. I guarantee Kevin here was throwing up red flags to every friend and family member and coworker. No one wanted to do anything.
Yeah.
And the interest on that check kept building until he offed a police officer in a hospital with a knife. Bruce Willis would kill for that hairline, yes. But that's the thing I'm getting at is like, we all want to go, well, you're a bad person. Keeping in mind a person doesn't grow in a vacuum, and it's context and content, right? He's the content. We would be the context as society. So, everybody in his life just sort of let him be a shitty person until he just decided to do what he did. And then since he's so stupid, because I'm sure, people don't just cut you slack in one area of life. If you're annoying, people cut you slack to get you out of the equation. So he could have been a bad student, just been stupid, and they just float him on through because it's easier.
Yeah.
And, we sort of bubble this fool up to the top as this scum pocket. And, he popped and killed a dude. Is it just his fault? Mostly, but or not we all, like every on the planet isn't responsible, but like everyone in this dude's ecosystem, could have or should have, but then again, where do you say hey, I think something bad is going to happen. We don't
Yeah.
want to be like the thought police. So, I don't know, thought crimes, right, guys? Listen to that song and then tell me you don't understand.
Yes.
I waved it around.
Yeah. Whereabouts in the parking lot was it? I know the parking lot pretty well.
Right in front of Tim's.
Well, there's a police station right across the
You
street.
know, that's
Tim
what makes it
Hortons?
even really audacious.
Well, why didn't you just go over there and wait for a police officer? So
Well,
you were
hey,
looking
yeah.
for a gun.
I actually was. I drove around their lot about 3 times looking for a guy. But they
Couldn't
were
get out
all
and go
on
outside?
shift.
It's cold out.
It's cold.
Well, I don't know. It was
Canada.
in between shifts because when I came over to the hospital, I was passed by 3 cars, and they're heading back because I guess shift was over.
So why didn't you turn
Over
around
there.
and go back?
They were heading back. You were going down Green. I don't follow. You
I was
were.
going to the hospital, and
Yeah.
I just drove past.
Where were you
me
between the time you took the carjacking, and the murder? Where were you?
at home,
Home doing
washing
what?
my clothes, washing the bedding.
There was blood on it.
So you stole the car, went home.
Here's the thing, like,
Where's your wife?
a lot of people use, like self-dispatch as like a tool, whether it's for sympathy or to get out of something legally or whatever, right? Like, those really bent on doing that and seeing that process through aren't gonna like do chores and like make a few attempts and then like, be like, oh nuts, oh well, I'll try again in a minute, make a bologna sandwich. And then like try it a few more times or whatever. Like, it's a desperate process. And the fact this guy's like, oh well, I was just like, oh yucko, like what's Tom said, he goes, oh grossaholic. I gotta fix it, the laundry, and then I gotta lunch, and then before the day is over, and I've attempted it 7 or 8 times. I guess I'm just gonna have to go to the hospital and accost an innocent. For all intents and purposes, got on my ski-doo and just blowing through 10 on your ski-doo through the snow.
The sequel to
Or
American
did
Ninja that no
carjacking.
one asked for, Canadian
Yeah.
Frost
Ninja.
Ninja.
Yeah,
Just-
nailing it.
Cleaned up the place best I could.
My wife would kill me if I
Would
got
anyone?
blood somewhere.
Stupid.
I went by and saw them. Showed my dad my cut, my neck and stuff.
Showed it
Just
off.
told him goodbye.
Look at that. He came to his dad waving a red flag by way of like a cut neck that he cut himself.
Yeah.
And, like, here's the thing. Regardless of context, imagine someone you are blood related to, close enough for you to be a son or something of the like, brother, mother, whatever. This person comes to you with a cut neck. I would go like, whoa. Here's the thing. You and I are spending the rest of the foreseeable future together because something's up.
Yeah.
But, if this part of the story is true and he showed up at his dad's house and he had a couple of God knows what the cuts actually look like. So maybe it just looked like shaving nicks.
Right.
Because, too tough to die. Maybe even couldn't break the skin. But that's the thing. If someone comes and obviously has signs of like neck trauma that they then say is self-inflicted, I would go, whoa, the rest of the day is yours. I'm taking it, taking a mental health day from whatever else I was doing to focus in on this. But again, that's me, and I would hopefully not have been cashing horrifying checks for Kevin here my entire life.
Right.
Must be, yeah, like an old razor.
Yeah.
Like you had one of those Mach 3s that you used a month past what you should have, and like, oh, whoops, sorry, Kevin.
Then they drove around looking for me
How do you know that?
because they sent me an email.
How do you know you had an email?
Because I checked on the computer when I was at home.
Oh, it's on the computer at
Police
your
sent
house.
me an email saying
Okay.
they were looking for me. We're gonna get you, Kevin. Sign the police.
The police.
Well, we're going to have to get a search warrant for you.
Oh, Hamburger, it's been a while.
Hamburger.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate you.
This interrogation is a good one.
And did you respond to the
It's already
email?
annoying. I hate him.
Okay.
Sorry to say goodbye.
And goodbye. Did you tell him what?
Another thing I wouldn't do, like, right? Like, when you're like, hey, like, if you're going to push the angle of, like, I am going to off myself, I wouldn't then, like, pack more errands and nonsense and busy work in between the attempts.
Right.
Like, hey, I cut my neck up a whole bunch, but then I had laundry and then the sheets, and I had to make a bologna sandwich, and then
I
I
had
go to
a
the
list
movie.
of chores.
I realized I had a Harkins like gift certificate that still had $5 on it, so I caught a matinee. caught up on some emails, realized I got one from the police saying they were looking for me for some reason. That's when I decided to drive to the hospital. I was like, whoa, the day's getting away.
Yep.
What?
What the goodbye meant? Like,
Yeah,
not I'm traveling to Europe. But
No, I just said I tried to cut my throat and it didn't work, so I had to go find something else, and I wasn't going to drown myself because with my luck, I would fall in the water, and I wouldn't drown.
I wouldn't drown. Like,
You
there's
would
no way you
float.
can answer that and sound smart. I would
You'd
go in the water and my lungs would turn into gills. What do you think he was going to say there? Like,
I don't know.
he survived the cutting, but he's like, hey, if I jumped into the water, I would turn my water into wine. Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing
I'd
here,
become a
Kevin?
merman.
I had to find a weapon.
I was like, Kevin Costner, I was drinking my own
You
pee and
can
growing
buy
gills.
All the
He
donut.
picks his head like Cyraxx.
With my luck, I'd fall in the water and just float away like Frankenstein's monster. Mary Shelley, ever read it? Great book.
Yeah, hey, I did read that shit. Good book. Kills, Frankenstein straight up murdered and pretty much deserves it.
Donut shops until it clicked in hospital. No, I'm not being disparaging with donuts with the guys. It's just like we always went to the donut shops because they're open all night.
why don't you take a break?
And you take a break.
We're allowed to have breaks, right? Union breaks.
Yeah, well, we don't have a union, but that's what you do at the coffee shop.
We don't have a union.
because we're lazy or something. But it's just because they're open.
Sure.
And you get that sugar.
And we're lazy.
fixed too when you're tired working late shifts.
Oh, totally. Go to
Still
Tim
thinks like a
Hortons.
cop, Kevin.
I know.
Canadian Tire. Got tons of coupons in my back pocket here.
Do you feel sorry?
Sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Do. Nothing can be done. Like you said, you can't take back.
Well, there is. You could say sorry.
Sorry. Well, to who?
Accurate. The family
of the victims, the horrified people who had to watch you stab a man to death in the lobby of a hospital. There are tons of people that societally you could say you would owe an apology to, but then you go, well, who? The dude's dead. He didn't exist in a web, a network of other individuals. Who? Who am I going to call? The Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Somebody
Idiot!
will be watching this.
Hate
Sunday.
this
I
guy.
know. They're not gonna. Watch this. His kids.
It's
I'm not
cyber.
watching his kids.
How do you know?
Because Thompson told me. No, some other guy. He says you're a. What do you said? You sack of shit.
Nailed it.
He has 2 kids. No, sorry.
Whoops. So I guess I did say sorry to the guy who called me a sack of shit. Wow, nailed it.
The story doesn't cut it. So.
You might want to try it. No?
Oh no, I'm not saying no. Hey, down the road, if I run into his kids, if they come to me and
They won't.
I'll
Might
talk
run into
to them
his
and I'll
kids.
Tell them I'm sorry.
In jail.
Well, with all due respect.
If I'm, in the jail and they're walking down the street and the street leads through my cell and we go, oh, hey, what's you? Like, whoa, hey, remember me?
Sorry.
Kevin, I don't think they want to talk to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably
that's
not.
good. I wouldn't want to talk to me either.
All right.
You're not evil, Kevin.
No.
You've done something evil, and I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to understand why.
Yeah, seriously.
I just wanted a gun.
Hey,
And
this
I'll kill
happened
myself.
exactly,
But you left a big piece of the
I don't
puzzle.
know, to the day,
That's not-
however many years between 2023 and 2009.
Was that like, it's over 4 years ago this happened, guys. Over 4 years ago in
To the
Canada.
day.
To the day. Is it 12/29 already?
Yeah.
Or that's a Canadian date. It might be 29/12. There are 47 months in the Canadian year. So, citation needed.
What happened?
They have Thanksgiving in October. They're insane.
My lawyer says not to say. My police instincts say not to say, and that's it.
Well,
So
you're the
I'll
one
just
that gets
wait.
to decide.
But and your police instinct
just your
said what
opinion.
about killing
No,
a
it's
police
not.
officer?
There's a video camera.
cool.
Guys are watching, and every time they think of a question, they call you on the phone. That's what we do too.
I mean,
Just pull up my tragedy blanket. It's so annoying. Like, I can't believe how many.
That's a blanket?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was his pants.
The blue. No, they give him a blanket because it's cold in there. The amount of interviews that involve blankets are insane. However, now that I think about it, most of the ones that I do see that involve blankets either take place in the Middle North or Canada. Like Michael Rafferty, if you're familiar with that case, they give him one of those space age astronaut blankets.
Those silver ones?
Yeah, they give him a big yellow one too. They like load his ass up with blankets. His accomplice Terry McClintock, they give her a blanket. They give Gypsy Rose a couch and a blanket. They give her slow boyfriend a blanket. Like, that's the thing. They say, oh, well, here's an interrogation room, and just check the overhead compartment for one of either of the space age blankets or one of those big like cushy ones that like is made out of simulated fur from Pier 1 or whatever. It's insane. And that's how many my tax dollars are going? Blankets in bags, or like someone's going down to Pier 1 or Bed Bath & Beyond with one of those like 20% off tickets being I need an interrogation blanket. And
you're all by myself, man.
You have a phone.
I want to see an interrogation.
No, they can't call me. There may be people watching, but this is your time, Kevin. Well,
there may be people watching indeed.
We operate a little differently. This is your time. Like I said, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to say story. This would be a perfect opportunity for you to fill in the blanks. Like I said, that's why I put you to that position to you. If someone came to you and said,
like, the fact that he's so interested in his forearm is also like another layer of maddening. Like, it's annoying when someone has like a pompous attitude, right? But a pompous attitude in delivery mixed with this like wallflower, like, oh, this thing on my arm is super interesting right now. I gotta sweep all my skin flakes I keep picking off onto the table. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm just too tough to die. And like, oh, there's a funny little hair on my arm. Like, what are you? An embarrassed third grader, or a dude who's too tough to die and is now like super sorry for having the dumbest plan in the world of acquiring a firearm?
hey, give me your gun. As a police officer, you know exactly what would happen. You would not give your gun up.
Duh.
So I don't get where you think that you could go and approach a uniformed officer or anybody in the security industry and say, give me your gun. You're wearing 2 bulletproof vests, Kevin.
You're wanting me to give you a statement again.
Well,
that's a weird thing too, right? Like, if you wanted to off yourself, people often use cops and make jerky movements to get them to get themselves gunned down. It would be weird to be like, if your end goal is ending yourself, to put on 2 bulletproof vests.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Huh. I don't want to say like there's a hole poked in this story, but I mean, it's like when you stick a pencil through a balloon before it pops, you can definitely see something is happening, right, guys? Right, guys? Something's not right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to understand, Kevin.
Good luck.
And I'm sure everybody is. There's probably at least 800,000 people in this city who are trying to understand.
I mean, that's
and there'll
generous.
be probably hundreds of thousands of people
You don't want to make it
in a
easy
couple
for the
days
cop.
trying to understand. And this is
kill
your
you.
time to make them understand, or to let them understand.
I guess if you want to test their skills, you could come at them with like the freaking 9 bulletproof
for the
vests.
reasons I already stated, you don't approach a police officer. You know as well as I do, Kevin, if I were to touch your gun when you're in uniform, you know what you're trained to do. I know what I'm trained to do.
Yeah, but I guess since I'm Kevin Gregson and I'm like, Bruce Willis in Unbreakable, he would just be like, yo, dude, yeah, I'll explain this to the brass later. You go ahead and take this gun. I'm going to keep patrolling the emergency room for threats.
Yeah.
Gunless, because you need this.
Flawless.
Flawless victory from Frost Ninja.
I just have a hard time grasping what it is.
Right, so you don't
What
want
was going
he
through
didn't
your
want
mind?
to get killed. He wanted to off himself.
Right.
He's like, I'm not going to be a murder victim.
I need protection from
Yeah,
everybody else but myself.
That's the pompous attitude of someone like this. The narcissism of like, no one can kill me but me.
Yeah.
What a dude.
Like I said, we have
hate this guy
witnesses.
so much.
We have stuff. We have evidence. I don't think that
We have stuff.
in my opinion, is not a question. The
Yeah.
question is why.
Hospitals are full of cameras. P.S. They're like Walmarts of the
And with all due
medical
respect,
industry.
Kevin, I don't think you wanting to end your life justifies the actions that you took. That's my opinion. There'll be a trier of fact who will judge that, not me.
Right.
I just don't get it. And I'd be doing the very same thing if you were the person that had their life ended.
Like when he can't try to like slurp on his own 2-inch member and like he has like a bunch of like real questions thrown at him. Like when he can't just go like, oh yeah, I'm just super tough. Like I tried to just shove a pen in my
Couldn't do
neck.
it.
Like what is real questions? And he has to like, oh damn, like that's what I love about these idiots and their plans or whatever you want to call them. Like some people plan in such a way that they never get caught. Some people plan in such a way that like they're suspected, but nothing can be proven for maybe ever, and then various degrees along that line. And then there are idiots like Kevin Gregson here who goes like, oh God, I need a plan, I need a plan. And instead of a plan, they land on a single word. And they go, whoa, yeah, I was going to do that to myself.
Yeah.
Plan over.
The end.
No, this is not Jim Smith. Jim Smith is a goddamned legend. He's the one who interrogates Colonel Russell Williams. And God willing, one day we'll go over his footage, but it's like literally, even edited down, it's 3 hours long.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's the thing. Bingo, you nailed it, Thomas. He's just built different. He's like Ford truck. He's unbeatable, an ironclad. But yeah, it does feel, that's I brought that up earlier, Hamburger. Like this does feel like the Colonel Russell Williams one as well, because I don't know, they run different in Canada. Like he's already been able to talk to a lawyer, because that's what you get to do in Canada, is before they even get to interrogate you, they make you talk to a lawyer. The lawyer says shut up, but they can still interrogate you, so look out.
Yeah, he's a little more officey.
A little more office. Yeah, that's the thing. With another thing about Canadian interrogations, they're a little more dressed up. Like here in the States, very few of the interrogations that I see, at least, are dudes dressed with a shirt, like a long shirt and tie.
Right.
I think the classiest we got was with Sarah Boone with Scott and Chelsea, and it was only him, and he was wearing a long sleeve, that satin red
That
number.
red one, yeah.
But like Federico Gondola or anybody else we've covered, you couldn't see Stephanie Lazarus's interrogators, but you know they're basically wearing like salmon and mango colored polos, if anything.
Right.
Yeah, it does. That's the thing. Somebody brought that up earlier. Colonel Russell Williams and this guy share a similar hairline, but you know, Kevin's a young guy. He's got his life ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young whippersnapper.
And I'd be talking to you just the very same if you weren't a cop, which you are.
Which, by the way, you are a cop. Which you would have your own gun, allegedly.
You are a Mormon, right?
Oh, great. Mormons.
You think your religion, I think, tells you your damnation is yours, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What? Here's the thing. There's no religion, unless they're like a Satanist or whatever. And even Satanists will be like, well, it's actually more of a misunderstood blah, 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 whatever. All religions will tell you we're not actually evil. We're just perceived that way and yada, yada, yada. So the fact that you bring it up at all is fucking ridiculous. And even then, let's say they were an evil religion that did love to kill people. You'd be like, well, you're a XYZ. You love to kill people, right? That's why you did it, right? Like, instead of being like, well, you're a Christian. Like, you know, wasn't that bad? You're a Mormon. You're a Jehovah's Witness or whatever. Why bring that up?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's the thing. When you're throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, you throw everything. It's just weird that we're, you know, so soon into this and be like, okay, you're a Mormon. Doesn't literally every religious text say that killing is wrong? Basically?
But yeah, I can't think of one that says, yeah, you're cool.
Yeah,
The Purge, cool.
I
Do
mean,
it.
like witches and devil worshippers still say like, no, killing is wrong.
Don't do it.
He's a Mormon.
Yeah. That's why you
All these edits.
Because it doesn't work when you cut your
It does
wrists.
if you cut them the right way.
Well, even you cut along with that, they'll bunch up together. The best thing is the throat. I should have did in the leg maybe. I don't know.
Femoral artery.
Yeah. But I didn't know. After it didn't work, I was like, whatever. I need
You
it
like
done.
breaking your covenant with God, Stephen?
Stiven, you like breaking your covenant with God, Stiven?
Achieves horizontal chair lean status.
Goddamn, everybody loves that detective in his chair. I believe it is the most, like, it's the best part of that interrogation. Everybody talks about how he's like a zombie, like a troll doll or whatever. But I think that detective and his fat ass in that chair is like the superstar of that. And everybody agrees.
Stiven.
It's insane.
That's like when Detective Carpenter brings up Christianity to Daryl Brooks, but when they're at that much of a psychopath, bringing up Jesus isn't going to touch a nerve.
Right. It's so hilarious because, like, I don't know. It's the throw everything at the wall to see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame them because sometimes it does work. It's just when you run through technique after technique and it's all hitting a wall, that just means you're bad at rapport building and you're bad at reading a situation. If, like, I would lean into the fact, like, he's telling you everything you need to know. He thinks he's an unstoppable superhuman badass.
Yes.
Right? Lean into that, make him believe that, get him comfortable, and then maybe get to the heart of what might actually be somewhat close to the truth. But, like, going like, you know, what's up with that? Are you going to apologize? I know what a cop would do. What? Hello, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for the appreciation of the screen wipe. I love old school shit and cheesy shit, so you're welcome. Here we go.
When did you decide you needed a gun? What time?
I don't know.
I mean, I was so busy all day in between errands and trying to
Chores.
off myself.
Cool.
What time did you cut your neck at?
7.
7 p.m.? And then you know what time you went out and got the car at? Or did the carjacking?
I walked over to the donut shop.
Because you live nearby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just down the street.
Yep.
So I walked over
Why
there.
hasn't the
and then
question come up yet? You're a police officer, currently police officer. They said he was currently a cop. Why doesn't he have his own gun?
I think that comes out. It's been a while. I kind of wanted to keep it
should have been the first thing.
a little mysterious. But that's the thing. A lot of stuff has been edited out.
That's true.
And this is not like Colonel Williams, or you can, again, with what's-his-face, Michael Rafferty, you can see his whole thing unedited, essentially. Sometimes you just have to deal with this. And remind me, I still think we should do Nancy Brophy one day on the stand.
Yeah, I
Not
don't know
with
why
the-
we haven't.
I don't know, because
She's an idiot. I don't know why we haven't done her yet.
she is, and I keep forgetting she exists because she's such a buffoon. But anyway, we'll get into it later.
opportunity presented itself, so I took it. And
Was it before or after midnight?
it was way before that.
Okay.
Before I fed my gremlins.
And then you went back home? You went to see your
I went to
parents?
see my parents, then I went home. And
Jesus
do anything
Christ,
else?
what was he?
no, I just I cleaned up. It was a real mess.
Yeah, I cleaned my house. I went to my parents' house. They saw my cut throat. I cleaned their house. I went to Sonic. I got a cherry limeade. Again, I mentioned the matinee ticket, right? Because I had some left
Right.
on a gift
I
card.
can't let it go to waste.
And I checked some emails. Again, why? Why are we talking about how many things I now expanding with every passing minute in between my attempts at offing myself? Like, what does that have any germanity to the questions?
Then it kept spurting on the right side all the time.
Ugh.
I'd just be standing there and start spurting. So I had to wash my clothes a couple times. And I figured I wasn't coming back, so I just
Sonic
enjoyed
cherry
laying on the
limeades will
sofa.
save me.
Why did you figure you were not coming back?
Because I could have been shot and killed at the hospital.
With
you
two
had
bulletproof
two
vests?
bulletproof vests. Unless you got shot in the head,
Like,
which police officers I don't think are trained to do.
no, that's the thing. There's whatever. Moral of the story is, like, there are some things that work when you stack them, right? Like if you wire things in a certain way, you can get all the power of the batteries that you're using instead of just the 1.5 volts across the circuit or whatever. Like bulletproof vest is one of those things where like it just feels like overkill because the first one you go, okay, it's bulletproof. Whew. But then you put on the second one and you go, well, what if they've got, for some reason, those armor-piercing rounds or whatever? Remember, you're going up against the cop who are going to be shooting Full Metal Jacket exclusively because they're not, like, looking to maim you. This isn't a battlefield.
Right. Yeah.
2 condoms is a bad idea. I don't know if anybody's told you this, but the friction of the rubber can break them both. It's better just to use one. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all adults here.
Suicide by cop.
No rubber.
You're wearing a bulletproof vest. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. How did you figure that was going to happen?
I don't know if you got lucky, hit me in the head.
Got lucky.
Triple tap, eh? To the chest.
Triple tap.
That's one of the head. That's what I'm trained to do. This is what they train us in depot. But most guys can't do that because they get nervous. The first shot will go in, then the other 2 will go.
They're not trained to incapacitate before killing?
No, like if you're going to shoot, you shoot to kill. But that, like, citation needed, right? Like, I don't know. It's just like it's whatever the municipality is or whatever the protocol is. It does feel like you need to do something to make sure they're not going to be a threat. But like then it comes down to like personal whatever. Because you go, well, I was afraid for my life. I just emptied the magazine.
Right.
Like, you double tap someone. Some people just get shot once. Like. That's the thing. It's one of those things where, like, depending on where you are, they'll train you something totally different. But no one is shooting to, like, shoot you in the foot or the arm or whatever. It's not a movie. They're not looking to shoot you in the shoulder.
Well, I guess Stabler, when he shot that police officer in that...
They shot him right in the chest.
Yeah.
You got to put him down. When the gun comes up, you're looking to end, neutralize the threat is how they put it. So, when the Detective Kendall in this Kendall in this situation, he's like, oh, my drug smuggling ring is over. He did, his method of self-dispatch was by cop, and Stabler was the cop that just happened to be.
And then he had to take a couple days. Mm-hmm. I once had a cop throw a ninja star at me, so this is all BS.
Okay, that's bizarre. But you got a cop throwing a ninja star at you. He was either not a cop or you were somewhere in Asia where they have very lax rules.
Yeah.
I'm interested in hearing that story, though, Thomas.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go so I can go home. I wanted to die in my own place.
Imagine being like, yeah, perfect. Here's the thing. I don't know much about Canada. I'm a uncultured swine. However, I feel like even in Canada, there are places that hunting exists in Canada. Even if they're not going to sell you like a handgun right away, you could probably find yourself a rifle if you're dedicated to it. And if it's too long and you don't want to use your toe, you can slice off the barrel with a hacksaw. Because again, like, sure, it's against the law to shorten the barrel of a long rifle, but you're using it. And who are they going to prosecute?
Right.
There are so many easy ways to do the thing he is looking to do.
He's got chores. He doesn't have time to hacksaw anything.
And again, this just sort of lends credence back to like the plan was one word instead of like minutes, seconds, days, hours, months of planning and or forethought. Mm-hmm. He's an idiot. Mm-hmm. Canada's biggest idiot.
I just wanted to go die in my home, my space, not on the street.
Want to get back on MySpace, say goodbye to Tom.
You tried that, then had to clean up the blood because it was on the carpet.
Well, and, we're not going to go through the laundry list, but yeah, the first step didn't go well. But hey, a gun, here's the thing.
We'll get blood everywhere still.
If I were this detective and had the benefit of hindsight, I'd be like, well, okay, so your story is you tried to stab your neck and you're just too tough to die. I would be like, did you ever think that like your arms are so weak that you couldn't penetrate enough of your tissue? Like, it's not that your neck's tough, it's just that your arms aren't built for anything?
No.
Kevin?
What did you tell the officer when you approached him?
I said, I'm Kevin Gregson. Superhuman.
I need
Can
your
I have
gun.
your gun? Yeah, I need your clothes and your boots. I pulled the whole Terminator 2 thing on him. He didn't laugh.
That's why I killed him.
I know you really want to know. I can't tell you. I'll tell my lawyer, and he can tell you.
Well, that's you know better than me. That's not how this works.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. I'm screwed either way. It doesn't
I'll tell
matter.
my
Kevin,
lawyer.
it does
he'll
matter.
take-
Oh, it does matter.
He's the kind of, like, if he didn't have the receding hairline, he's the kind of person who would grow, and obviously if he weren't a cop too, but like,
Yeah.
he's the type of person who would grow his hair out like this, and he would constantly be pushing it over his eyes so he could just be a scumbag and never make eye contact like a normal human being. But since, you know, the cul-de-sac is there, like the weeds have overgrown it, but you can see the outline.
Matter. I'm screwed. I can't even die.
Or a letter?
Huh.
You're just checking out?
Checking out.
Chicken out.
Why
No
so
forwarding
defeatist,
address.
Kevin?
I'm not defeatist. It's not defeatism. I'm just going. I'm leaving. I'm just going
Well,
over there.
lots of people say that you're
That's
you
not
just
what I
given up.
believe. That's not what I think.
You've just given up.
No, I'm just going.
You seem rather matter of fact about it.
Yeah.
How does someone get so resolved to say, you know what, that's the way I'm going? How does someone do that?
Because I've been this way for 5 years.
I mean, the resolve is one thing, but the energy and the drive to do all those chores in between attempts.
What kept me going in my outfit? It doesn't matter now. I'm in charge of
Outfit.
first degree murder. When they were causing me trouble at work, my plan when I was in Regina was to put my surge on and go down to the Parliament buildings and cut my throat, which I'm glad I didn't do because it wouldn't have worked.
I mean, right,
Just
guys?
to cause trouble for the force because it would have been a big PR thing. And when I got here in town, my thing was I'll go down to the Centennial Flame and just lay out there. And now I realize, holy shit, that would have been the stupidest thing in the world because I couldn't have cut my throat anyways. And that's what.
I mean, I can't afford a sharp knife. Maybe that's his problem. Maybe he doesn't know what a sharp knife is.
Well, why would you? I mean, whatever. He's an idiot, an asshole, and like, why would you make it a big public thing?
Right, because he's a fucking drama queen. Like, he's an idiot who's, again, the dad has been cashing him checks. Everyone around him has just
He's
been
got
like,
a wife, and for at least the last 5 years, he's been having this issue and nothing.
I don't know. It must
Allegedly.
take a special person to, like, right the ship, especially if you're going to be outside their immediate circle. But, like, the core of the problem is everybody who is, like, close enough to him to try to affect change. Like, because, you know, we can say friends, coworkers, etc. If you're beyond a certain, how do you want to describe
Circle?
it? Like, social circle, like you can say your family's in the tightest ring and everybody sort of floats out from there. There are probably enough people in that first ring to be like, this is a problem.
Right.
I would hope, like, if I started acting like Kevin here, that someone I, you know, either shared blood with or a bed with would be like, whoa, what's up with that? Mm-hmm. Instead of being like, oh, you know, that's just whatever, like making excuses and cutting slack, because in the moment it feels right. Because you go, well, yeah, it's somebody else's problem. Like, oh, Jesus, what a hassle of a customer or whatever, but this is a family member.
Right.
Just
right.
to be like, oh, well, that's just who they are. Right. Like, sure. But the problem is, you know, as much as individuality is important, you still have to integrate yourself into society because you need to be part of a larger thing. Mm-hmm. You can't just have shit and slack cut to you your entire life because some poor asshole at the end of that rainbow has to pay the price.
Right.
It just so happened to be a cop working in a hospital in this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept me going, the fact that I could die and leave at any time. And this has been going on since 2005. And that's what's kept me going. So I've
So
been
many
suicidal
attempts.
for 5 freaking years. So for me, it's no big deal.
Yo.
Sucks to be me. So it's just things like that.
Sucks
And it
to
was
be
just
me.
getting to me. Then they took
Yeah, imagine killing someone and then like the destruction it would leave in your wake and then be like, yeah, sucks to be me. Like, whoopsie daisy. Like, no, like if you slip on a banana peel and you like break your tailbone, yeah, it sucks to be you. if like you are a night security guard at a mental institution and like you pull the hot steaming cup of coffee out and you find yourself a winner of some sort of poker hand and you go, hey, it must be my lucky day. You turn around and you're stabbed in the eye by a liquid metal robot. Yeah, it sucks to be you. If you perpetrate a horrible crime on someone, leaving devastation that will ripple through a community and a family, yeah, maybe a little more.
They took my pay.
That was this
No.
summer, right?
No, that was
My pay.
they kept it going until November. Then
Oh,
they took
okay.
it. But the thing they did wrong was they tied it into the panel, which they can't do, and that screwed themselves.
Okay.
Plus, when they took it,
So why? So there's my point. That's my point.
yeah,
So you said they can't do this, and you've appealed this stuff. So why, at this juncture, do you decide? Well, Kevin Gregson's checking out. Why? What now? I don't get it. I really don't.
because I have $30.
Because you have a beautiful son.
There are times I've had negative $30 and not at that. I mean, maybe it coincided at times, but I would never be like, I have negative $30. That's the final straw. Like, that's it. Like, even when I had $30 in a positive manner, I would never be like, that's it. Like, I would look around and I say, well, all this, the earth, the sky, the air, the food that I eat, but I have $30. I'm sorry, guys. Bye. It's like when you invite someone to a party and they don't want to show up, and they show up, they stay 15 minutes, and like maybe someone there's a weird interaction. They go, "Oh yeah, I just got a text. I gotta go." Like my dog walker said that the dog puked. I gotta. The fuck.
You have a wife that stood by you
I know.
to this point. You have children out west that'll always stand by you.
What is her life like?
And you have your
Right.
church or your
Church
religion.
is a joke.
Your religion.
Church is
I-
I mean, read the room, dude. It didn't work the first time. Then be like, "Hey, you have the church," and then like just to double down. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that."
It's just time. I had enough.
Big noise.
And I just lived with it, and I controlled it.
How did you control it, though? I mean,
I
if
just
you're
controlled it.
aggressive, how does that work?
I just controlled it. That's all.
You didn't control. You didn't have very much control today.
I wasn't aggressive to it. Like, I don't know. It's just, I kind of.
All of these massive edits. You wonder what's in here.
Yeah.
Same thing they do with the Lee Darty interrogation footage. Maybe it's a certain
Is that
number.
Canada too?
No, Lee
Oh.
Darty was, I think, Georgia. He was the one with Savannah and the Bonefish Grill that took place in the States. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I want to say it was in the South, but yeah, there's like a huge chunk edited out where they're like, "Come on, Lee," and then they just disappear, and he's crying in a corner.
kind of live with it, and I just kind of control it. Like tonight, I wasn't aggressive. That wasn't aggression at all.
They're just murders, not aggression at
I
all.
think a lot of
Trying to
people
wrestle a
disagree
gun
with
away
That's
from a
okay.
cop isn't aggressive.
that. Well, then you need to define what you consider to be aggressive.
That wasn't aggression.
It was desperation.
This feels like, okay, so here's the thing. When I was a young kid, like RoboCop 2 or 1, I forget, very violent movie, was on TV or cable or something where me and my brother were watching it. And that guy, you've seen him a million times, but if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It must be RoboCop 1, because Red Foreman from that 70s show shoots him in the legs a couple of times, then blows up his house.
Oh,
And, you know, he's like doing coke with bimbos before Red Foreman shows up to shoot him in the legs and then blow him up. And then my mom walks in or watches us watch this scene. She goes, "This is too violent." And I was like, "This isn't violent." Not knowing what violence was, I just instinctively wanted to keep watching and said, "No, it isn't." And like, that's Kevin. Like they go,
Yep.
you know, should have a lot of aggression. And like, that's the thing. It's like me watching Red Foreman blow up a dude after shooting him in the kneecaps and bleeding all over his rug after having sex with hookers and doing blow on a glass coffee table. And like trying to find a leg to stand on when there is none.
yeah. Yep.
You go, well,
Taking someone's life with a knife is not
I got
aggressive. I think you'd have a hard time selling that anywhere.
yeah, literally.
Probably.
Just my point of view. What would you consider to be aggressive then?
I implore you, if you are in any way interested in this case, seek out the footage of the CCTV of the hospital. It looks aggressive.
I mean, it would have
to my memory,
be.
it doesn't show anything graphic. So if it does, I apologize and don't look at it. But it just feels like, yeah, we're trying to write the reality of the situation, but being so stupid.
Like, killing somebody is an aggressive act just in general.
Yeah, obviously, unless it's poisoning. I would say that's passive aggressive.
Asserting yourself. I don't things like that.
Asserting yourself? Is that what you said?
I was
didn't-
being
is that what you
assertive
said?
toward that
Asserting
cop.
yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think you're a fair person?
Fair enough.
I was. I'm not anymore.
Why?
This stupid bitch. It's been on like the cusp of this because I want to reference. I can't remember his name is the Killdozer guy. He was reasonable until he had to become unreasonable. But the thing with the Killdozer guy is like he was legitimately being screwed over by a cabal of people in a municipality.
Right.
Like he was the victim of people who, small town politics. Kevin here is just an idiot. So it's not like he was reasonable until he was unreasonable. He was an unreasonable dickhead his entire life, but somehow spun the narrative that was the man who made a Killdozer.
I'm a monster now.
Now.
Because of this?
Oh, yeah.
Or before?
Oh, because of this.
I mean, before probably,
Do you
too.
think it's unjustified? That label? I mean, it's the label you've given yourself. Do you think it's accurate?
Just flick off my skin cells from my arm pickings here.
Oh, I was thinking about that today because I told my dad that I'm a monster. And the thing is that humans are monsters.
Yeah, but if you told your dad that
What did your dad say, right? Because I want to know what his dad said. 'Cause
Yeah.
if his dad was like, no, you're not, we know, like... But here's the thing. Parents cut slack to kids, so I can't really be like, whoa, because you can swing one way or the other. You can be over permissive or over protective or over regulatory or whatever, so it's kind of a bad barometer. But like, yeah, if my kid, 20 years in the future, we fast forward, he's a murderer, an idiot like this guy, and he goes, hey, what's up with that? I would go like, yeah, like, my bad, mostly, probably, but also mostly you too, because you did it.
Right.
But that's the thing, like, I don't know, man. We're so complex. It's amazing more of us don't go off the deep end because some people who you meet who are the nice people in the world have insane backgrounds that you would expect to produce a monster. And then you have people who had everything given to them or they were middle of the road or were in the situation that you would expect to create a monster and they pop either way. You don't know.
Right.
that would be before you murdered the officer. So,
Murder.
well, you murdered him.
The courts will decide that.
You're right. You took his life.
Yeah.
Put it
The
down.
courts will decide
Okay.
that? Like, he killed him.
Okay, so you took his life.
The
So
courts will
you,
decide.
you said you told your father something before you took the officer's life. So,
What was that?
What was that in relation to?
well, you said you made the comment about being a monster before this happened. I asked you if you thought you were a monster, and you said because of this, and I said you answered yes. But you thought you had some thoughts about being a monster prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because humans. I'm a human being.
Because
I'm a human being
humans-
too.
Yeah.
We do the same thing, Kevin.
Not really.
No? Why is that?
I'm sitting here in the zoot suit,
Yeah. Well,
and I've done some
the
bad
allegation
stuff.
against you is that you took somebody's life.
Yeah.
We're on opposite sides of the table. We still do the same
allegation.
thing. They obviously hired us for the same reason.
Yeah. So, whatever.
I just don't know how you get to the conclusion.
To me, all people are bad. That's it.
That's such a frustrating point of view. Here's the thing. Whatever. Do what you want, right? If you want to think all humans suck, the spoiler alert at the end of that rainbow is you're a human too, so you're just saying you suck too. I always defend humans because by and large, we want to do what's right. It's just we're not doing it in a way that is right. necessarily. So when people go, oh, humans, or they treat the rest of humanity like insects that they just have to sort of navigate around as they go about their daily lives, is such a bummer mentality, at least to me, because like you can either get people who are just mildly annoying who go like, oh, humans, they bother me, and then they go back to wearing pajama pants 24/7, and I go, great, whatever, I don't care if you're just too intellectually superior to understand the rest of us. But we also get people like Kevin here who go like, all humans suck and I'm a human, and it probably wouldn't matter if I offed a couple. Mm-hmm. So it's a dangerous and slippery slope, possibly. But again, who knows? We're so very complicated. But I don't like that mindset, and I fight it every chance I get. Because I go, at the very least, when someone goes, oh, humans and blah, 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 makes a disparaging comment against the species of their own.
Or like, and I used to say this when I was a teenager, that I hate people.
Right,
which
but
is like,
you're a person.
Right, but I was a teenager.
Right. It's a bizarre and somewhat twisted mindset, but we all have it at points, so I can't be like, hey, whoa. To look at literally everybody else outside of yourself, whatever you consider yourself, be it here or here, looking out through here, and you go, everybody but me is the problem.
Yeah.
That's problematic for me.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's how I view it. I look at everybody and they're all bad, and that's it. And they sometimes exhibit a bit of good, but for the most part they're bad, and that's it. And that's being human.
Well, that's glass half empty. It's not human. It's glass half empty. You choose to do that. That's not necessarily true. Mm-hmm. It's like the people that say the glass is always half full and everything's all rosy. Well, that's not true either.
Typically, what you find is like the middle or the median or whatever. Like there's always going to be outstanding good and outstanding bad, but most people are going to fall in the middle because most of us don't have like machinations of super evil or super good. We just want to do what's best for our family, which then that's the thing. The high tide lifts all ships. But then you get dipshits like this dude who's just like, an emo kid who somehow made it past a psych test to get a gun.
Right? I mean,
I have my view, you have yours.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
but
wanna be
when a
an
murder is
optimist, I'm not
involved,
a
you can't
pessimist,
just
I'm a
be like,
realist.
case
you're
or
a
us
pessimist.
or
I don't know that you're a realist.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you're being aggressive.
I'm not being aggressive.
No, you're being assertive.
I made a point. Whether you agree or disagree, it's
up to you.
Totally up to you.
It's on the table. Whether you accept it or not, that's one thing. It's like you saying you didn't murder the officer. Well,
I didn't.
Well, how do you
video
classify
evidence.
that then? That's the question, I guess.
I'm going to talk to my lawyer about that.
If I tried to take your anything right now, say
Your
blanket.
Frost Ninja outfit, or your blanket, or your cool wristband so you can get back into the concert if you have to go out to visit the Porta Johns, what would you do to me?
we're on the street, you and me. You're walking down the street towards me, and you have a laptop case and a laptop over your shoulder, and I try to take it because I want it, because I need one. What's your response?
Murder.
Done on a laptop here. What's your response?
Come on, Kevin, you got this.
I can't talk to you. You know that.
Dude,
Well, we are talking.
Try. No, you're going to try and try and try.
I realize in real time or whatever we've elapsed like
20
an
minutes.
hour.
Oh, yeah.
In real time. And in the interrogation time is 20 minutes. But like we've also seen a bunch of heavily like vignetted, like fade to black edits. God knows how long. Oh, I guess we could look at the time because the timestamp is on there. But moral of the story is, like I said, like at this point, why are like P.S. Your neck has been at a constant 45-degree angle, so you don't have to look at Jim Smith's lesser than counterpart.
And so when we started this, it was 12 something p.m. Like it was 12 something p.m.
Yeah, so it's 13 something. So whatever.
It's almost 1:30 now. So I'm interested to see the
Who
other
knows?
edits.
And God knows, why do they have to edit stuff out? Because, like, Florida, they've got their freedom of release, and if they're going to release something, maybe it's before the case, but here's the thing, after the case is done, which most of them, by the time they hit YouTube, they are, like, where's the rest of that footage, right?
Try. It's okay. I have to talk to my lawyer. I can't. He won't even see me till Innis, so I gotta wait.
It could just be a bunch of
Well,
silence.
You are the person who makes
No,
the
there's something
decisions in
going
this
on.
room.
Actually, I'm not.
Actually, you are.
Well, I've decided not to talk to you about stuff.
That'd be funny
Just
if we
because my
weren't
experience as a police officer, and
20
also
minutes
because
into an hour
Israel-
of footage.
What's his name? Last name?
Genscher.
Genscher says not to.
Now,
And,
you
I understand enough that I do understand the magnitude of what's happened here. Like
You should.
when the guy.
You're a cop.
Well, that's the thing about a lot of these interrogation high points are around understanding, right? I don't know why. Because how do you prove someone understands to the degree that you do or anybody else does? Like when Kevin says here, like, I understand what I did, it's like when, not to bring up lol cows, but like when Chris Chan goes, I understand when he cheated on Blanca or whatever, any of those other things. What it's highly subjective to who and what you are and what that actually means to you. It could mean nothing.
Right.
People lie also. So what does it mean to like say, oh, I understand what I did? Like functionally, mechanically, possibly. Like I can understand that when you put gas in the tank of a car, it's moved through a system of tubes through some sort of magic to cylinders and pistons. It is burned and the fumes escape the exhaust and you get to go forward. Do I understand it? No, but I can say I understand it because conceptually I do.
It happens, and that's what it is.
Right. I push the start button, it goes, and I can drive around.
Yeah.
It doesn't
If I
matter if I
run
understand
out,
it or not,
it
but I
doesn't
can
work.
say to people I meet on the street or people I want to talk to cars with, I go, I understand you totally. It's a lie. It's a white lie.
The guy says you're a piece of shit. And the guy's dead. It's like,
Same guy's back.
Holy shit. It's like, oh no. Okay.
Like you said downstairs, the drama's over.
Yeah,
Drama.
it is over. I'm
Flat
not
A's in
gonna get
Canada.
upset. It's done. I tried to die and I couldn't die. I can't die.
It's not about you.
I know it's not about me, but I'm just saying.
It's stop being about you.
I know it's
I
not
can't
about me, but
die.
I want to talk about me. Don't you get it? Like Jim Smith would have honed in on the fact that this dude wants to talk about himself
Yeah.
and leaned into it because that's when people lower their guard and start talking about shit. Just like hitting his walls where they are the strongest is not working. Talk about him.
About you when he took his life
Yeah, and I'm just saying.
in the execution of his duty.
I'm just saying.
That's where we need. That's where we need to get
I'm
straight
just
here.
saying is that I'm not going to go and cause trouble. I'm just going to
What trouble could you cause? You're
with these boys. Could they all walk around me and they're getting ready to scrub me in case I go nuts or something? The nuts part is all done.
It is done.
I tried to take my life and it didn't work. So now
But you
it's
keep
just a
talking
matter
about
of that.
you. You keep talking about you.
Of course, I'm going to talk about me.
Who else is there, right?
We're here because of me.
That's a choice you made about ending your life.
It didn't work.
No, I know. That's a choice you made. You made other choices for other people, including myself and a bunch of children, including your own.
Yeah, I know.
We don't get to decide. You chose. So I think it's we need to just move away a bit about a little piece about you. Move away from that.
Also, maybe stop looking at your arm and picking at your scabs. Whatever. It's so annoying to me when humans can't like give each other the simple respect of like looking each other in the face. Everything about Kevin's interaction with, I don't even know this guy's name, this detective, but everything about it screams like the opposite of what over millennia, we have come to craft as like common courtesy that stretches over all cultures. And he's ignoring all of those things. And when someone does that, I mean, it means something, right?
Buddy,
You don't have to trust. You shouldn't trust me.
You're not building trust with me right now. Now you're badgering me, and I'm not going to talk to you.
I think someone brought that up. Build rapport with this dude. Let him talk about himself.
Right.
Do I have to sit here and be real quiet
Do
until you?
anything-
Or
do
are
anything
you
you
going to
want.
make me sit here for hours and hours and hours?
Do anything you want,
Okay.
except leave.
I know.
You're under
Except
arrest.
leave.
I know. Yep. I know.
And
You're in
I'm charged with
Frost
first
Ninja
degree.
well, you're not charged with anything yet.
jail.
Frost Ninja.
Mhm. So
But based on the information that we have,
That's another thing weird about the Canadian, like the legal system, is that it moves a little slow. Like they'll have, and this happens here too. So maybe it's just a municipality thing, like the laws of the land, depending on the district or even like the square footage, is like you can have someone who is dead to rights, guilty from any angle because there's 4K footage and there's millions of witnesses or whatever. And they go, well, you're not under arrest yet. You haven't been charged with anything yet. You're just under
Investigation.
arrest and detained for questioning. And they go, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because of some legal loophole or some red tape, they go, well, technically you don't qualify as arrested or charged. You are arrested. Sorry, but you haven't been charged. Work on that later. Anyway, what were you saying about being the toughest man in the world?
Right. You can't
that's what
die.
you're going to lay charges. That's
Really?
okay. That's what you're going to do, and that's how the process works.
Yeah, I got the process, and I know that you're a cop, Kevin,
We're
and I
cops.
know that you know all about this. And
No,
you had the
actually,
same-
I don't
You
know
had the
about
same
it.
course.
But I did have the same course, yes.
Yeah, and
Maybe you've noticed, as I have, his head keeps sinking lower,
like he's
and
gonna go
lower.
to sleep.
Yeah, like he's suffering from acute, rapid onset osteoporosis, and before long, he's going to be the shape of a candy cane.
you're
I'm in big trouble.
Yeah,
you
but
think
you
I don't
seem-
know that?
Kevin. You seem all matter of fact right now.
I am very matter of fact. I've
You know
always
what?
been matter of fact.
That's not going to go well for you.
I mean, look at us. We hate him.
Yep.
Person has to be who they are. I'm not going to put on a show for anyone.
Like, fuck you with this whole, like, Reebok or British Knights, like, your life is that you own the streets or whatever. Like, no. Sorry. You know, individuality is important, but, like, you're still part of a society that needs you to function properly. You can't be like, oh, humans.
Yeah.
Like-
Everybody sucks.
Whatever. If you want to get a job from home and never talk to another human being and then just be like pshaw and be a hobbit and smoke your pipe and drink your tea and say that everybody else aside from you is a fool or a nincompoop or whatever, that's your life. Be a shut-in. I don't care. But when you turn your rage against other people, that's when people have an issue. Be a douchebag and hate other people because you're above everybody else, literally. But, like, just stick to the Mountain Dew and shit.
I have not heard a reference of British Knights in I don't know how long.
You know how much I love the 90s, Hamburger, and I love British Knights because they were always given out on Double Dare and the Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I'm not going to... Look, the thing about me, the way they at my work, how they describe me is I'm very brutally honest and I'm awkward.
I can see that.
So when you put that together, that's
The
just a
last part.
nice way of saying you're a dickhead.
Because
Yeah.
I don't get up and I don't try and...
Be a human.
I don't pass the buck. I don't
What does that mean?
That's exactly
point
what
the
you're
finger.
doing.
No, I'm not.
You think that somehow this whole event is acceptable because you
It's
are only
not
trying to
acceptable.
find a gun to kill yourself. That's what it's coming off as, Kevin. I'm just
Basically.
the spectator in this. I'm just watching. That's how it's coming off to me. That's why I said we got to stop talking about you. The fact that you chose to end your life or to check out, that you're okay with that, doesn't mean that the rest of the world is okay because you made choices for other people tonight. That's
If I were a detective, here's like my technique would be like hands down instead of like appealing to religion or whatever, like running through all the read techniques, I know exactly what I need from a person for a jury to be like, oh, gross, guilty. If you just lay out the situation in bald language and ask them, then you can reiterate their version of reality to them, which is like speaking to the audience, or like in a movie where they have the everyman character who has to be explained, like if you watch Renfield or whatever, any new character into a society needs to be imbued with that logic. And that's who I would be. I would be the detective who go, okay, so just to be clear, and so we are all on the same page, you thought X, Y, Z, and it's always going to be fucking insane because here we are at a police station getting grilled by a detective. So you thought the cleanest course of action, instead of going to like a Dick's Sporting Goods, was to accost a police officer in public while wearing 2 bulletproof vests? And all you need them to say is yes, because ideally at the end of that rainbow, when you've got a jury of your peers before you, enough of them will go like, whoa, yeah, there are a few logical holes in that.
Just a few.
So... But I would also build some rapport so I could hopefully add a little icing to that cake of like, sometimes you can get a revelation out of someone like this idiot and they go, oh yeah, that was bad. Or anything in the affirmative. Like
Right.
You want to be ABC, always be closing. Ask questions that end in a positive. Like, you wouldn't have wanted to kill this person in a normal circumstance, right? Or you take it back if you could, right? Where like you want to answer a yes. Like when I was selling cars, I would say, you want the safest drive on the road, right? You want the most comfortable seats. You want this, they want that, right? And of course you want to say yes, because no one wants to go, no, I want my ass to be like I'm sitting on a river rock.
That's what I'm trying to get through to you.
Yeah, but you do understand that'll be my defense.
Do whatever you want.
So there's no point. Like this whole thing is mental health act. It's written all over it. It's like,
How do you figure that?
because I know.
Well, because I had a one-word idea, right? And it is tied to mental health. So if that one word can literally cover up all of the details, it would be like trying to spackle a house with a tube of like concealer meant for your face. So if that tube of concealer meant for a completely different situation works here, then I'll just go to a mental hospital for like 6 to 8 weeks, prove I'm sane, and be back on the streets, a menace to society in no time.
Yep.
Perpetual nuisance status.
How do you figure this is mental health act?
Yeah.
Because I'm messed up.
Because you're depressed. Is that what you're trying to tell me? We've conversed here like 2 people sitting on bar stools in a bar.
And
That's my point. And the truth is the truth.
yep, and it shall set you free
Or condemn you.
or condemn you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess if you're a criminal.
Pretty philosophical for 2 flatfoots.
What is this, 1947?
I've been a cop for 5 years.
Well, there's 2 things that are going to happen. You're
It's
going
only
to be
been 2
charged.
I'm
minutes.
going to be charged. I
Right.
could go to
You're
jail
either
for a
going to be
long time.
convicted or not convicted.
Yeah.
That's the way this is going to go. And witnesses and evidence is evidence, and witnesses are witnesses, and they say what they say. And you have the opportunity right now to look up at the camera and tell that widow and those children.
I mean, I would, but like, I understand, like, this is a heavy situation, murder, and like people, but like, my left forearm is the most insanely interesting thing on the planet right now. So please, a moment of silence for my left wrist.
Children.
You said
That
they're
you're
not going
sorry.
to watch it.
Oh, they'll be watching. I said everyone's going to watch this at some point.
Yeah. Even my people out there seem people.
Even me.
Embarrassing.
Your people.
Everyone's going to watch. It's embarrassing. You think this is embarrassing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
like,
right.
remember that viral video of the woman possibly faked who like has massive diarrhea in a hot tub and everybody jumps out? Like, that's embarrassing. That's like, oh man, like 10 years down the road, they go, oh, you're the hot tub diarrhea lady? And you go, yeah, guilty. Whoa, like embarrassing. This was a murder.
Yeah.
That's all you can think of. This is going to be embarrassing.
Classic whoopsie daisy, officer.
He went from flat foot to, oh, that's all, it's going to be embarrassing.
No.
What?
You think this is embarrassing? Is that what?
Your feet were flat, but now you're like, I'm embarrassed. I don't even know you anymore, detective.
Is that what you want the family to hear? Is that what you want the citizens of this free country? Is that what you want people to know about you?
Country.
Is that you think this is embarrassing?
That was a big gaffe.
Flat foot to embarrassing. Now you're trying to make me feel bad or something. I already feel bad.
You do? Well, then say it.
Huh? I already did a few times.
No? You think this is embarrassing? You don't know how this will impact the RCMP? You're worried about the image, your image? You have a lot more problems than that, my friend.
Yeah. That's okay. It's who I am. If I get locked up for it, I get locked up for it.
I mean, you're gonna. Like,
You're not my friend.
didn't say he was.
You're a big meanie.
I don't have any friends.
Oh.
At all.
This feels like a Chris Hansen bit. Like, I have no friends. No one talks to me. I have no friends. I'm all alone in the world.
So I talked to a 13-year-old.
Or murdered a cop in a hospital.
And I don't need friends.
Oh, okay.
Your
good.
wife's not your
My
friend?
dad's like that. He once told me, he says, you know what? When you have friends, you gotta go and be nice and do things to be acceptable to them. So if you do your own thing, you can do your own thing. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, as the petals of
And
this
I
rancid
picked up
flower
that-
open, you can kind of see like all the problems, right?
That philosophy. And that's it.
Just
Well,
decided
you
to be a
know,
douchebag.
you have to know that since
Yeah, he does sound a little like Steven Seagal, right? Like if
Yes.
watch, that's the thing, especially latter day Steven Seagal, like 2006 to 2015, 16 ish, is like a slew of movies where like he's being locked up and questioned by someone who's like, you're the best of the best. This guy thinks he's fucking Seagal. He's like, I'm the best of the best. He's like, I
can't die.
I can't die. I kill people. It's just the way I do, brother. He's like walking the line between pretending to be like from the South and also mildly black. Like he would definitely throw on a do-rag for this
I'm gonna go be in a movie with a rapper.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to die, so I want to take a cop's gun. So I went down to the, what the fuck?
I went to hang out
people
with Ja
pulled you
Rule and
off.
DMX.
or intervened in the
Eddie Griffin was there too,
that we have at least one eyewitness.
at least.
You know that, right?
There was a girl and a guy and a guy. No, wait. A girl
It was two girls, a guy at a pizza place. That's what it was.
Two
and
girls,
a guy. The guy
one
had-
or more
had me
cups.
there.
I don't know which.
3 cups.
Pretty
Jesus
good.
Christ.
Girl, she had grabbed my arm, and another girl came and kicked the knife.
Okay, so that would be
That's three people.
That would be 3 witnesses, right? At least.
3 people.
Yeah.
In this day and age, you know about video surveillance and cameras.
If you want to talk about Steven Seagal, we can talk about Steven Seagal for a really
A long
quick minute. There is one movie out there. It's not Soldier of Fortune. I can't remember which one it is, but it's definitely latter. Here's the thing.
Latter
Steven
day.
Seagal has like 4 time periods. There's early Seagal, where it's his original body and his original hairline
Yeah,
as it
tank top.
slowly gets whisked
Yeah.
away by the 4 winds, and he runs like this, right? And then there's like middling Steven Seagal, where he realized he should stop running. He got hair plugs, and he's like, okay, now I'm gonna fight people, and maybe I'll take a punch every once in
It's
a
like
while.
Under
but
Siege
mostly not.
2
Yeah.
ish. Uh-huh.
Then there's latter day Steven Seagal, where he's still kicking ass, but 60% of his time on screen is sitting, eating food, fully clothed, about to have coitus or
Yeah.
whatever.
Definitely with a stand-in for all of the fighting scenes.
Not all. Sometimes he'll do his own, but it's like a 50-50 mixture.
Oh, and third Seagal.
Then
Yes.
there's latter day Steven Seagal, where he is constantly a Pillsbury Doughboy tube of shit in camo. Where
The
he
stunt
is,
double, even just walking.
Yeah, like stunt double for walking. Every time his face is not pointing on camera, it's a stunt double. And he's typically a sniper or some sort of ex-military dude who doesn't do a lot of punches.
In
but
a completely
does.
different building from his partner.
He kills a lot of people via a green screen. I think it's not maximum conviction. That's what I keep coming in mind. But one where he's a sniper and like his co-star or the dude in the FBI like hunting him does all the heavy lifting, and God bless him for it.
The last time, so we have a Steven Seagal binder of movies. The last time I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood to watch a stupid, shitty movie. Let's watch a Steven Seagal movie. But David, pick one that doesn't have like Ja Rule or DMX in it, because it makes me mad because Steven Seagal, it just acts like an asshole. And, you know, all the movie names are the same. Like literally. So he chose the one with Ja Rule in it, and I was like, God damn it.
The problem with Steven Seagal is he's got genre changes and also like sociological changes. So we have like early Seagal, mid Seagal, latter Seagal, latter Seagal. Now through that tapestry of the 4 flavors of this extra Neapolitan, we've got him being Native American, Eastern European, African American, Southern, and a smattering of cultures throughout.
Yeah.
So, although I would love to be like, here we go, 4 chunks: early Seagal, mid Seagal, latter Seagal, latter Seagal, done. If you want to go, well, like, when's Native American Seagal? It's spotty. It's piebald. When is African American Seagal? Again.
All over the place.
Throw a dart at a map. So, yeah, Thomas, you must know about Steven Seagal.
if the terms for picking a Steven Seagal film where he's not an asshole yields no Steven Seagal films to watch.
Right. Here's the thing.
I like JCVD.
If you want a shit ton of Seagal, go early Seagal. If you want no Seagal, go latter Seagal, a la Against the Dark, where all of his footage was filmed in a single hallway. He fights vampires, hypothetically.
Oh, yeah.
However, he's not the main character, the second character, the antagonist, or the protagonist. He's the guy who shows up to walk through a hallway and slice at a camera as a disconnected person shot months or even years later has their head cut off.
Right?
Yeah.
Eye in the sky, Big Brother, all that stuff, all going. Could be working against you, right?
I don't.
But watch the one where it's like the Rock ripoff. When he gets sent to...
That's the one with Ja Rule.
That's not the one with Ja Rule. That's the one with...
And then the helicopter goes through the ceiling. That's the Ja Rule one.
Oh, I was thinking of Exit Wounds with DMX.
Yeah, this one Ja Rule is heavily, the soundtrack is Ja Rule, and I don't dislike that movie because I think the prison stuff is fun.
But you have to go through a country mile of bullshit to get there.
Correct.
Because you have to sit through the first half of the movie, which I always forget about, where it's Ja Rule and Steven Seagal, and they're both like excellent car guys and good drivers and shit. And it's not until like the 25 minute mark where they go to Alcatraz and shit starts to pick up. But yeah, it's a slog. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, people.
It doesn't matter. You know, the courts will decide what happens.
Yeah, you
and
said
whatever
that.
the courts decide, I'll accept.
You had 3 knives or 2?
Ooh, that was like a 10-minute pause.
The knife.
The big one, the peacekeeper.
The piece. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I love it when weapons that are meant to like sever limbs or like just destroy organs are always like, the peacekeeper or like, all because you could go one of two ways. You could be like, it's like the zombie brain obliterator, or it's the peacekeeper. Very few things in the middle go like, oh, it's the Toyota Corolla of knives or guns or whatever.
You know who else can't die? Steven Seagal.
Yeah, it's impossible. In some movies, and especially in latter Steven Seagal movies, his enemies, his arch nemesis for the movie at the end fight, when you'd expect, like in a Godzilla movie, the kaiju, or the Marvel movie where like the big bad and the big good come together and they each exchange blows and they're both worse for the wear afterwards. Steven Seagal at the end of all these movies is like not been touched. He's kicked the shit out of the person. Their hair is fucked up. They're bleeding. It's bruised. Like their face is already swelled to like Eric Stoltz in The Mask proportions. And he's just sitting there with his fucking helmet hair that they, pop into the sockets on his head. And he goes, I guess that wasn't your day or whatever. He doesn't have a catchphrase.
He doesn't have a good career.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's called a peacekeeper. It's a NATO issue. You can buy them at like any
Knife shop.
Knife
Yeah.
shop, yeah. And then a little one.
But-
You have a Swiss Army in your pocket?
No, it's not Swiss. It's just
It's a Netherlands Army knife.
that was just
Are you considered to be somewhat of
I'll
a
show you.
knife expert, or
I guess.
you don't have any? Do you have any
guess.
specific training other than the stuff you mentioned?
When the answer is no, but you want to bullshit someone, you say, I guess.
That's like
Know
he
about
was
knives?
trained to kill,
Oh, sharp
edge
and they
training?
were like, no, he weren't.
Yeah, the RCMP are like super murderers. Like the RCMP are like KGB and CIA and MI6 combined.
Yep.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police put James Bond to shame. And I'm not just talking about Roger Moore. I'm talking about Daniel Craig level.
Damn.
With my work.
Okay, with your work, I mean.
God,
And then you just pick
that
up stuff
gown
on
makes
your
him
own.
look massive.
Okay.
Knife work is pretty basic.
Yeah.
People make a big deal about dancing around and crap, but it's all about it's all prison yard.
When he
rush.
sat
That's
back
all
like
knife
that
work is.
and made a weird face, or I know you're gonna be like, no, he's not. He looked like Alec
Gary
Jones
Busey.
for a
Oh.
second.
Alex Jones?
Alex Jones.
At least he's got the right hair color and facial features and hairline. I'll buy that. At least it wasn't another Gary Busey lookalike.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, and then that didn't work. So
2
I
It's
minutes.
like Stephanie Germanotta.
can't believe it. I
So why didn't you try to buy one on the street?
Seriously?
buy one on the street?
Yeah.
From who?
Hey,
Anybody?
You're a cop. You must have had CIs. You must have known places where you can pick up illegal or illicit material. And P.S. Again, maybe Canada is different, but you could probably walk into most sporting goods stores and find something with a hammer and a trigger. You don't need to walk into a hospital and be like, hey, dude, can I borrow that? And he'll be like, hey, why are you wearing 2 bulletproof vests? And then the
Don't worry about it.
escalation.
I could have just borrowed one. A long
Yes, you
gun
could
from
have.
someone.
Yes, you could have. That's part of the
But the
idea.
knife was
That's the
supposed
thing,
to work,
Kevin.
and it didn't work.
Okay, so why didn't you just borrow a rifle from somebody? Why didn't you go to Canadian Tire and buy a shotgun?
Bingo! Hello,
Canadian
go to Canadian
Tire.
That's Canadia's Walmart. Go there. There's no waiting period. Buy a mare's leg. Buy a 30-06. Buy some lever action bullshit. Don't put on 2 bulletproof vests, spend 9 hours doing chores, and then drive to a hospital.
Because I don't have a...
Why didn't you know somebody
have
that has a weapon,
$200.
break in their house and take it?
No, because it's more accessible from a
No.
member.
Why would I want to
I'd say
break into someone's house who would not be expecting it, and maybe they'd even be away to steal their gun, when I can assault an active and alert, awake, and trained police officer?
it's not accessible at all.
Do you have
For the very reason is that you would never give up your gun, and neither would I. Under no
And P.S. He never got the gun. He killed the guy. He never got the gun, obviously, because he didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
circumstance. That's not accessible. That's you making a choice to go do that. That's not accessible at all. Like I said, that's about a choice you made. You had choices now, you had choices yesterday. You've had choices the whole time.
Wait a minute. Are you sure?
Go and steal one. That's available. Going to a police officer and trying to disarm them to take their sidearm? Not
P.S. If you're a shitty or dirty or corrupt cop, like I'm sure this dude was, don't you have a throwaway pistol?
Right.
Like, not for nothing, but if you're going to be a shitty cop, why not cover your ass and have, like, an untraceable gun that you mysteriously lifted or disappeared from a crime scene or whatever around your ankle or whatever? Don't be like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, again, it's the same person. No matter what training or intelligence level you give a person, right? They're still going to, if they're the right type of moron who intelligence doesn't matter to, they're going to buy their kill kit under a Walmart 4K self-checkout. You're going to think that trying to take a police officer's gun under, again, the cameras of a hospital is a good idea.
not available. Did you want the officer to shoot you and kill you?
No, I just wanted his gun.
Two
Right,
vests.
so you could kill yourself.
Two
Yeah,
vests.
in my house. On my sofa. Or in the bathtub.
Classic sofa.
Then why didn't you use, like,
I'd go to the sofa. It's more comfortable.
do mountain cops not have guns?
Mounted.
I need to use the washroom. Would you
Mounted
like some water?
cops not have guns?
He's not a. That's the thing. He hasn't been a cop in 5 years.
No,
So-
he said he's been a cop for 5 years.
No, he hasn't been a cop for 5 years. He was. I don't remember the backstory, but he hasn't been a cop in 5 years. So that's the thing. He might have, and this is my ignorance, he might have been kicked off and had that shit stripped from him. But since this detective isn't really hammering any specific and or useful points, or maybe that's all been, hitting the editing room floor as we've been watching these cuts.
Could
But
be.
it leads me to believe that that is not the case because he's still an idiot. The conversation has not moved forward literally at all. So what they're cutting out is dubious. We're going to talk to Terry Lynn McClintock.
Oh, gosh. What a mess. Ugh.
Oh, boy. What a pickle I'm in. I can't imagine taking another human life and then just being like, oh, boy, golly gee, what a rough weekend I'm in store for.
Oh, damn. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess.
I know I'm on camera, so I'm going to say all this myself.
Gosh.
That's the thing. And all of these, bar none, is a performative element because even if they don't tell you, egg on my face, says Thomas, yeah, you're right. Oh boy, what a, so embarrassing. No matter what, they're always going to be performing for the camera.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, what? Like, I didn't know Mr. Roosevelt had CP on his computer, or like Christopher Fosmer being like, whoa, nice. Two-way mirror. You can see in, but I can't see out. Nice one, dudes. Like, or as far as like that, I can't remember her name, but she had like her two, like her boyfriend and his best friend who was on the spectrum, like kill her dad. And like, he spent 3 hours talking to the camera, and when he found out he could fuck with the microphone, he was going to release his autism on them. It's all performance because even if they don't tell you there's a camera and recording equipment,
Right.
So you're going to pull out the theatrics and be all Billy Zane in Tombstone being like, oh, Hamlet or whatever.
Tony goes, this guy is a mess.
Absolutely.
Every time he hits the table, it makes me think of a helicopter. Like,
It's a million. I've heard this a million places, but it feels like a Zoom recorder or whatever digital recorder that is just sitting on the table upright instead of on its side. And so every time it hits, it goes,
Yeah.
and it has to right
stabilize.
But like, shouldn't that be built into the damn wall?
Yes.
Oh, golly gee. Another Canadian mess I got myself into.
Damn it. I'm so fucking...
Well, anyway, I'm Kevin Gregson. Unkillable.
Damn.
What is that from? Damn. I hear an old lady saying that in some movie somewhere. Please help me out, Typing Square.
It's always happening.
It's always happening to me. I'm getting charged with murder after I murder someone. Doe. I mean, if you want to like start breaking apart things in a legitimate way, all like the self grooming, like the running the fingers through his receding hairline, that's all like pacifying gestures. Like, you know, even though he's putting on a brave front or whatever, a delusional front, you know, his stress hormones are off the chart because on some level, whether he wants to admit it to himself or not, he knows what's up. Despite the fact that he wants to be like, oh, I'm unkillable and I'm unstoppable and all this other, whatever, your body will still tell the story of who you are. Your mouth will tell the lies, but your body will tell you, or rather others around you, what's going on. People in high stress situations will start preening or touching their face or all the other stuff. Is it indicative of guilt? No, because it could just be indicative of stress. But again, there's no wiggle room for like if he's guilty or not here. He's running his fingers through that illustrious hair. Oh my God, he must comb it 1,000 times a day, or brush it rather. Obviously not comb, that'd be ridiculous. How many Canadian officers do you think are outside this room? Like, since the guy's taking a leak, like, just give me your best guess between like maybe 1 in 10 people are watching him being like, what the fuck is going on? Like in a dark room, just like in a monitor, maybe one of them's wearing headphones and be like, what is he saying? Does this feel a little bit like Amber Hilberling's interrogation? Now that he's left alone, he's just talking by himself and...
Wow. Jeez Louise.
The narration.
Did you consider any other manner
He's back.
of death? Any other way of ending your life?
My thing was the knife.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, when the knife didn't work...
Just the gun. I thought about pills, but I didn't want to take the chance that it wouldn't work.
Well, they'll work. You know they work. You've seen one.
If you take the right amount. But like,
Just take them all.
that won't do with me. Look how I'm healthy.
I'm such a strong, secure, badass, and my dong is huge. Like, the pills would probably all, you know, go into my dong, which is a crime-fighting machine, and also, you know, it keeps me alive most of the time.
I'm not gonna. With my luck, I will just end up damaging all my organs. I'm not gonna.
You know, with my luck, I try to drown myself, and it wouldn't, and then I would take the pills, and I would just be damaged. You know, I'm such a badass. Like, this guy isn't like looking for a giant hydraulic press. You know, that would do the job.
I'm not gonna go around and be
Right, he's a strap. Look at that. The wide, the breadth of his chest alone. What is that, like a 42 wide?
So you think it's good?
Gimpy.
You think you have good luck? You would be able to survive any other fashion
That's
of
not good
suicide?
luck.
Well,
That's
It's
what
a curse, detective. It's a superpower that I consider a curse because I'm unkillable. I'm a hero.
They're interrogating Gaston.
Yes, Gaston.
call it bad luck. Some people would say good luck.
That's what I considered knife. That was what I thought about for a long time, and it didn't work.
Long time.
So I went to the gun. That's all. That's it. That was my thought process.
That's it.
So why would you involve another innocent party in your own death?
Huh. Why wasn't all these like logical questions asked earlier? Like, let's drop the God, let's drop the Jesus. Let's be like, hey, logically, as one human being to another, why wouldn't you pick literally any other path of less resistance? Because as humans, we're going to pick the path of least resistance. Like if I wanted to kill myself, I wouldn't like devise a Rube Goldberg device over the course of 7 years that ends in me getting crushed by a boulder after I flick a marble through a funnel.
That's how I was thinking.
No, you weren't
That's how I
thinking.
was thinking. I just wanted a gun. I just wanted to die.
Canadian Tire.
I still do. I don't want to live now. But it's just the way it's worked out.
So you and
You know, if I go into the pen system, maybe I can get involved in the gang and I'll get whacked. There you go.
Maybe.
Then I'll be dead there.
so you involved another innocent party, another innocent member of this society, because you couldn't think of any other way to get a gun.
I didn't think of him as being innocent. I just thought of him as someone who possessed the weapon that I wanted.
You don't think he's innocent?
I didn't think of him as an innocent. I thought of him as a person who possessed a weapon that I wanted.
So he became a target because he had something you wanted.
Yes.
Well, if
Target?
Well, he's not.
Right. Imagine. Here's the thing. This feels like it would be useful for a jury asking pertinent questions of like, you know, logical origin that you would have to have some sort of reconciliation with. Why did we have to wait so long to be like, okay, so you wanted this to happen? Wait. Yeah, of course, now you see Kevin's face and he goes, wait, when you say it in bald English like that, it sounds stupid. And he has to try and flounder and be like, no, he was just,
Person.
he wasn't an innocent. He was just a stack of meat who had a gun. And if I were trying to get someone thrown away for killing someone, that's the type of shit I would want them to say on video.
He's not innocent. If he's not innocent, then he's the
I
target
didn't
of what you were
think.
doing.
I just wanted the gun. That's all I wanted. I wanted the gun. I wanted to die. I wanted the gun.
Why didn't
Life
you get up on
wasn't
the Queensway and stand in front of a tractor trailer? That,
I didn't
my
think
friend,
about that. I thought it would jump.
Oh, yeah. When I was
The
like,
highway.
Because here's the thing, officer. When I was like, I want to die, right? I was like, what are the two ways? Knife and gun. And I tried the knife. Obviously, I'm a badass. It didn't work. My neck is just like as thick and fibrous and strong as the steel cables that hold up the Golden Gate Bridge. So I had to give that up. The two ways to kill yourself, knife and gun. And the gun didn't work.
Yeah.
Pills,
They just give me organ failure.
you know, a tractor trailer. I would probably just like, you've seen those movies where like the superhero gets hit and like the truck goes, whoa, and flies over them because they can't be moved because they're such badasses.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
So yeah, of course I didn't think about that.
So you thought it'd be easier to go and confront a police officer to get his gun? You thought that would be easier?
Why do you think I was carrying cups?
That's you were gonna abduct him.
Isn't that a funny little layer, like a ribbon of fudge through this cake now that has been overly iced? On top of the two bulletproof vests, he brought cuffs to be like, hey, even if you don't kill me, I'm still going to cuff your ass. Because why would, like, if you're going to go have sex with someone, you bring a condom. I don't bring condoms to places I'm not going to have sex with people. So to bring handcuffs, you go like, well, what?
No, I was just going to cuff him.
So because you thought he'd go with.
Just give me organ failure.
God help me. I got a backup of each organ.
Yeah. You know, in his mind, he would be like the guy at the end of Crank 2 who's just like the mob boss who's just like a brain and eyeballs in a fish jar.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I would take all those pills, and then you would just see me
This
in a
is me
glass
now.
bowl that's just a brain and eyes having to communicate through a speak and spell. Fucking dickhead.
With you, was that it?
No, because I'm stronger than him.
I'm stronger.
How do you know that?
Because I'm freakishly strong.
Freakishly strong.
No, I am.
You think quite highly of yourself.
I am. I have lots of experience in
I love
in
watching
restraint.
Steven Seagal
It's
movies.
No big deal.
So how did a paramedic wrestle you to the ground and keep you
Because I
there? You're so
didn't.
strong.
Because I did.
That paramedic was super duper strong.
Yeah.
That's the thing, detective, is no matter how strong you are as a supervillain, so freakishly. So if he's freakishly strong and the paramedic was able to wrestle him to the ground, is he freaky deaky-shly strong?
Didn't. Once he took me down, I stopped. It was done.
Why?
I was telling him to watch the crime scene. Everyone was walking all over it.
Listen, here's the thing. I
Crank.
showed up trying to get a gun to end myself, but now that that's out the window, dude, leave me be and focus on the crime scene. I submitted to him?
I submitted to him as a feint, officer. The natives call it counting coup.
Yeah. I pulled the bravest animal out there. The opossum. I played possum, hoping he would wander off. I soiled myself, obviously, too, because
You have to
shit yourself.
Yeah.
Hoping he would think I was a corpse, he would wander off, and I could scurry back into the woods to eat grubs and berries.
So you're concerned about the crime scene at that point?
No, I wasn't. I was just saying, hey, you guys, watch where you're walking.
This video.
So you thought, in your mind, it would be easy to handcuff a police officer and take his gun.
Yeah.
You thought in your mind
Yeah.
that was...
You got that
Yeah.
right, bro.
But the thing is that I was trying to...
Like, if I went to the fair, right, the local state or county fair, and they had two booths next to each other, and one was a booth that had one of those Jacob's ladders, right, where it's like, it's a rope ladder, but it's tied at the top and the bottom by one, like it's you know what I'm talking about. And you have to climb up without falling off, right? And right next to it is like, try to wrestle an active firearm away from a trained police officer. 10 times out of 10, the instant win is getting that gun from that cop. I would go, you know what? That Minions doll that's stuffed with Chinese newspaper is coming home with me. And the way it is I'm going to wrestle a trained police officer and receive his firearm and handcuff him hog tie style.
Damn. Don't you need 2 pairs of cuffs for that?
I would use his shoelaces, but moral of the story is that Jacob's ladder is hard.
trying to kill myself.
That's what you're alleging, yes.
Not
Alleging. I love that.
That didn't work. So I got it in my head.
That's what you're alleging. I want to use that in my everyday life. When someone tells me something I know is bullshit, I want to go, that's what you're alleging.
Hey, babes, I apologize, but I'm off to Sleepy Town Junction. Great fun.
That's
See you
great.
next time.
Thank
See you
you,
later.
Thomas. I appreciate you spending as much time
Get
as you did.
gun. So I went looking for one. I drove everywhere. I drove down past the donut shops.
There was no guns at the donut shop. Past the donut shop, there was no guns. So I decided to go to the hospital and kill another human being.
I thought maybe one guy would pull me over because I'm in a car that's hot. They didn't. 3 guys drove past me. They didn't stop me.
P.S. If you steal a car, it is technically hot. However, in the first couple of hours, they're probably not going to be an APB. So, don't be surprised if you steal a car and 12 minutes later the cops aren't up your ass because they don't know.
This isn't GTA.
I'm surprised at that. Wow. Don't these guys pay attention? And then
I was looking at the star meter and nothing.
No.
All blank. Not 1, not 2, not 3, nothing.
And I figured, the hospital, because I used to take clients there, and so it's going to be loaded with police
Clients.
officers. And I'll go there and just grab one
If you're a police officer, do you refer to the people you deal with as clients?
from someone. Quick, gone. It's done.
So
Classic.
you
I'll go
expect...
home.
Run into the emergency room, locate the nearest police officer
Yoink.
who's there to spot issues and troubles. Like, they put him there for a reason. So he's already on high alert. You're going to walk up to him and be like, hey, man, can I get that piece off your ass? And he's going to go like, yeah, dude, you look like a cool guy. You a former RCMP about 5 years ago? Yeah, take it. It's 40 caliber. It's going to have a little more pop than the 9. Don't worry about it. You've got this under control. I'm going to keep hanging out again in this hospital.
Yeah, I got my taser.
You
And then,
expect...
yes, I did. And then I'd come home and I'd do my thing. And I could sit there and stare at the wall for a while, then just do it. And then I'm done in my house.
Yeah, in
Stare at the
between.
wall.
So, suicide attempt 1, 9 hours of chores, achieve the gun from the cop, possibly handcuff him, get home, schedule in some stare at the wall time, and then
Look, it's his favorite wall. He's got to spend a little bit of
This is
time
my
saying
home where
goodbye.
I'm safe.
Checking
It's
my
not
favorite
anymore.
wall.
But that's irrelevant in that sense. But that's what I
Irrelevant.
was doing. I wasn't thinking about all these other things. I was
'Cause it
just
was
thinking
irrelevant.
about dying and getting a gun.
All
I
I can
think
think
that-
about.
I was thinking about dying and then getting a gun. classic The Outsider. I was going to kill myself, have myself embalmed, entombed, later wake up as a corpse, confused, bewildered, crawl up and out, and scare a whole party of revelers. Get that gun. Kill myself as a walking corpse.
All
But
I
you
can
didn't
think
have
of
the
now is
moxie to
Steven
kill yourself.
Seagal.
Or the knowledge.
Like everything
all
he
you
Thank you,
says, I
Professor.
hear
And-
in Steven Seagal's voice.
Yeah, now that you brought that up, it's an apt analogy because he is very Seagal-esque.
Yeah.
Possess it. And I think that you didn't have it, so you know as well as I do from your police training that you pull a knife out within 6 feet of a police officer.
It's just about
They'll shoot you.
Right. That's right. That's
Why was I
right.
wearing 2 vests?
That's right.
Right, and
So the
I
other
think
alternative is that you intended to do what you wanted to do, and that you were going to engage other people, other innocent members of the public, other police officers whom you have no grudge against, who are actually somewhat your brethren.
That's true. That's what that guy told me. He said, "You're."
Oh yeah, the whole thing, like the thin blue line and all that bullshit. Don't right, like yeah, we're
Sorry.
a fraternity. Shit, I thought I was in the IBW. Fuck, golly, what a mess.